Axel? One moment, he said, leaning over to the center console and pressing buttons. Tori's seat started to recline and her footrest rose. Sorry, wrong switch, he said, correcting her seat and eventually raising the electric privacy screen to separate the driver, as well as closing the side and rear curtains. When the privacy screen was fully up, the clear glass blinked and became opaque. Axel opened the cigar humidor, but thought better of it and pressed the intercom to tell the chauffeur in English not to drive away until their pilot arrived with their luggage. Yes, sir, he replied, also in English. Axel switched off the intercom. Tori, there's quite a storm brewing. She knew he didn't mean the weather and thought about mentioning what Frank had told her, but held her tongue. And it seems you are smacking its eye because your doctorate algorithms contain a flaw. That's not possible. Tori, half to 2/3 of the world's major nuclear plants, as you know, have installed core protection and rod control systems with your model integrated into their brain. But my work was supervised by leading experts, and after I open-sourced it, it was peer-reviewed to death. And then after that, it passed every regulatory check you could think of. In Europe, the US, true. But everyone seems to be ignoring all that. The instant problem is that He pulled his sleeve back and looked at his watch. In about 36 hours, all US nuclear power plants will be placed on shutdown alert if they haven't... Because of my work? In short, quite probably. Look, what I've been told is that 2 days ago the operators in a plant in the Midwest suddenly saw their rod control systems going haywire. Most of the instruments showed everything is within tolerance, yet others signaled a problem. When the operators instituted the requisite safety checks, nothing actually seemed to be wrong, so they assumed that a few of the meters were simply faulty. Still operating within the mandated safety window, they replaced those components with spares, yet the malfunction kept repeating. Normally, that would have tripped a scram, an automatic shutdown, but the control rods didn't budge, not even an inch, let alone move themselves into the core as they should have, so the operators had to launch a manual shutdown. The long and the short of their analysis so far is that there are 3 possibilities for what caused this, and your model is the favorite. Suddenly? And after all these years? I'm told that the Nuclear Regulatory Commission is contemplating a directive mandating that all U.S. plants that are fitted out with these components immediately replace them, pending an investigation. The only thing holding them back is the little problem that the spares didn't work either. The NRC's not willing to risk plants running blind, so the worry is that if the only safe solution is installing completely new rod control systems, well, that could take weeks, maybe months. Exactly. They've alerted the Brits and the French too, and probably the Chinese. I didn't hear about the Russians. If this isn't solved pronto, it could get seriously out of control. With winter around the corner across the northern hemisphere. Axel ran his hand back over his scalp and briefly closed his eyes. Tori had seen this maneuver with her old boss. It was like a tell in a poker game, and both times it had meant bad news was going to get worse. Tori, there's talk they might have to go even further, ordering full shutdowns of all plants operating with control systems that are based on your model. Hell! It'll be a lot colder than hell for a lot of people if they do that, said Axel. But you're right, it will get very hot for you. What do you... Tori, like it or not, this is the situation. A certain Dr. Tori Swyft has suddenly become the NRC's most wanted person to speak to.